I am so happy you've clicked on this video, and let me tell you why. It's because we have something in common, and I already know that because you clicked on this video that's about a Bible routine. So if you're like me, you're just slightly obsessed with this idea of learning about God from the Bible.
Hooray!
And no, we don't do it perfectly. We've got lots to learn, but man, do we want to know God through the Bible. We want it, which is why I'm here and which is why you're here. So if this is the first time we're meeting, I like you already. If you haven't seen part 1, I don't say this often, but you are gonna wanna stop here and either find the white banner that will be above, or you can go down in the description below and click on the link there and start with part 1. Let's just recap really quick what we learned in part 1. Most of us would agree that a whole, unprocessed food diet is best for babies, toddlers, teens, and adults, right? We need nutritious food to come inside of us so that we can grow and develop and thrive. The same is true spiritually. We need nutritious, whole food. This is the place where we eat from that grows us up spiritually. What I explained in part 1 is I think of the Bible as just that, food that I ingest that's whole and good and delicious and nutritious and grows me up in my salvation. And I think about my Bible routine as a menu of options where I'm picking foods to eat from the Bible. They're pre-planned. It's with intention, it's carefully thought out, so that I'm getting a broad range from the Bible. So that I'm not just eating one thing over and over and over again, because that is what I'll do. That is not the best way to get all the nutrition I need to grow up and mature. And I feel like this is gonna be a bad idea, and I'm telling myself not to do it.
It'll be fine. It'll be good.
We're gonna change the picture just slightly, okay? We're gonna go from the idea of food when we think about our menu, and we're still gonna think about a menu, but we're gonna envision it as a list of activities. Where in our pretend mind world, are these activities going to take place? It's gonna be in the ocean. Okay, I know, hang with me, please. We're gonna think about the Bible as the ocean. Deep and wide, and as you look out over it, it's stunning, it's beautiful. Your eyes cannot see the limits. If you've ever been out on a cruise ship and you get out on the deck and you're just looking as far as your eyes can see, there is nothing but water. This is the Bible. Infinite truth stretched out where we just can't find the ends of it. There is so much beauty on the surface, and there is so much unbelievable beauty in the depths. This is true for the ocean physically, and it is really true for the Bible in this spiritual sense. So what goes on my Bible menu is a list of activities I can do in the ocean, if you will, the ocean of the Bible. Each of these different activities are going to give me a different experience. They each have different purposes. There's reasons why I'm doing one activity and not another, because there is so much to explore on this massive body of water that if I only do one thing, I'm missing a whole host of experiences on this ocean. Okay, so activity number 1. Long distance swimming. Probably thinking, finally, thank you, Melissa. So when I think of long distance swimming in this ocean of the Bible, this is where I stay at the surface of the water. I'm not deep diving, I am gliding over the surface of the water, and the purpose is I'm trying to get as far across the ocean as I can. I'm thinking about speed. I'm thinking about seeing more of this body of water, and to see more of it means I've got to glide across the surface. I'm just gonna stay at the surface going as fast as I can. So what this practically looks like for me is my chronological Bible reading. Chronological Bible, if you're not familiar with it, it doesn't order the books like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. It orders it in timeline. So it really unfolds the bigger narrative of the Bible by time. It's the Bible books kind of all mixed together, but it paints the beautiful big story of the Bible. And as I'm doing the chronological Bible, I am not stopping and going deep. My purpose is to understand the larger, bigger picture. So I know very clearly when I open up my chronological Bible what I'm there to do. I'm there to stay at the surface of the water to get as far as I can and start making connections, seeing the overarching themes of the story of the Bible. I want to see patterns, big picture patterns. I want to see how different people connect in ways that I didn't even know they connected. That's what I'm doing when I'm long distance swimming over the surface of this ocean. Now, for me, it's chronological Bible, but I would say in general, what I would view this as is any methodical reading. So if you've got any sort of Bible reading plan where you're reading 1 or 2 or 3, sometimes 10 chapters a day, that is what I consider long distance swimming. Your purpose is to get through a large chunk of scripture at once. For number 2 on my list of activities is scuba diving. Now, let me just give it away right here. This is my favorite thing to do when reading the Bible. If you would never see me at the surface if I did whatever I wanted to in the Bible. I would only be scuba diving. I would only be going into the depths to see these strange and bizarre creatures, to see the beautiful coral and vegetation that I've never laid eyes on before. It's just like this exciting thing where I'm like, what am I gonna discover today? I'd never come to the surface. And the problem with that is I may understand one small section of the Bible, but not see the overarching big picture, which is why I can't stay in the depths. But man, oh man, we are missing something if we don't go down there every once in a while. And I would say the biggest thing to remember when scuba diving, which I'm not going to go in depth in any of these because I want you to see the big picture. If you want me to go in great detail, please put in the comments, like right now, even type out, I want to know more about scuba diving, or I want to know more about whatever activity that we go through. Please put it in the comments because I'll add to the series if it's something you want to go deeper on. So even though I know the beauty, and you know the beauty is breathtaking in the depths, it's breathtaking. I absolutely understand why for many, I've heard you guys say, many of you, I'm intimidated. I don't know where to start. Putting on this scuba suit and all this equipment to jump down into the ocean, to go places I've never been before. It's scary, even frightening. But if we don't, we miss it. We miss it. So the one thing I will say about scuba diving is we must have a focus point. For me, I'm always looking at one question or one topic, or what's even more typical for me is I'm looking at one verse within one chapter, within one book, but I'm really focused in on a couple of verses, and I know very clearly what I'm trying to answer. I know where I'm aiming. We must be strategic in where we're going to start searching instead of getting under and being like, this is as wide and deep, I don't even know where to begin. So having one small question or one small topic that sort of narrows us in, or one small verse, that will narrow us in enough that we at least know where we're dropping down into as we start exploring. Okay, the last thing I have to say about scuba diving is no, it does not take hours. You would be surprised how deep and what you can view under the water in 15 minutes. It really does not have to be an hour long. And yes, you need equipment, but that is basically your Bible and then just some good website. For me, it's Bible Gateway. There's a couple others, Blue Letter Bible's another good one. That's all you need. That is all you need. Because in that 15 minutes, what you've seen, even if it's just a glimpse, you take that with you or take a picture of it in your mind's eye, right? And bring that back up to the surface. And as you're going along your day, you're thinking about that image and you're pondering and you're thinking about, oh, but now I'm gonna go left a little bit and see kind of what's over. I saw that cavern sort of over there. I didn't have time for it, but I know that's where I'm headed tomorrow. To think about how you're gonna explore. So I need to stop talking about scuba diving because I could talk about it all day long. And the last activity we're gonna do for today, and that is a speedboat. I do not care for a speedboat. I do not care for a literal speedboat, but in my imaginations, a speedboat will do as we describe this third activity. They are enjoyable in theory. They are fast. You get to do a speedboat typically with more than one person, right? You're all sort of in the boat, speeding along the top of the water surface. Now, here's the thing to note about a speedboat. What's different between, one of the things that's different between a speedboat and, let's say, long distance swimming or scuba diving, long distance swimming and scuba diving takes your own effort to move your way through the water. A speedboat you're just sitting there, right? You're just sitting there enjoying the view, enjoying the breeze, enjoying the people that you're in the speedboat with. But the speedboat is powering you across the water. Now, there's some real advantages to that. There's a lot to learn from that. And so we're gonna put in this speedboat category, this list of activities, Christian books, devotionals that you read, written by other humans. Who else will they be written by, Melissa? Listening to podcasts, sitting in a church service and listening to your pastor speak. Now, here's what's happening in these instances. We have other fellow believers, other fellow water lovers. They're giving us pictures. They've gone scuba diving, right? They've gone down into the deep and they've seen things and they've discovered things. And what they do is they take photos of those and they bring them back up to the surface to say, look at this. Look at what I found. And that is lovely and wonderful. It's a way for us to learn and maybe think in ways that we would not naturally think. We need it. Here's the downside. Is because it takes the least amount of effort for our brains, and because it was not our process, we did not partake in the scuba diving or the long distance swimming, because we didn't partake in that, it leaves our brain. That's just a fact. It leaves our brain really, really quickly. It does not stick, and it does not stick because it's not us doing the effort. So we need it, but we need it in context to a lot of other activities that are happening on our same menu that we're choosing from. So that is Speedboat. So this is where we're stopping for today. A couple things. If you're like, wait, I'm confused. How do I do these activities? Where do they happen? Do I do them all at the same time? Do these have to be on my list? All of those questions, I hope, will be answered next week. And if we don't have time for them next week, then they'll be on the 4th week, but just hold on, because I will explain to you at least how I see putting these activities down, and then how do I interact with these activities without getting overwhelmed, making it really, really simple to do every day. More to come, and comment below. It was so helpful. Olivia said last week, she was like, hey, can you show us, your iPad using your pencil? Like, how do you do that? Yes, 100%. I will do that, like in June. So if there's something more about these activities that you wanna hear, or if you have questions, or if it's something completely different and you have an idea for a video, please, I'm more than happy to do that. It's actually extremely helpful for me. So thanks, Olivia. Okay, friends, we'll see you next week where we'll see the last 3 activities. Okay, see ya, bye.